Hi, my name is Polly Romine. I am going to go through the federal billing process. So you can see that I have logged in as my subgrantee self. I'm going to go to my applications. I'm going to see the list of all my grants, what's been happening with them, whether they're funded. I'm going to make sure that I pick the correct grant. I may have state grants, I may have VAWA grants, I may have VOCA grants. I'm going to make sure that I pick the correct grant and that I do a payment request on the correct grant for the correct funding that I want to bill. So I'm going to pick this grant. It's the one I want. The project title is correct. It says it's funded. You can see that it might get confusing with all these different grants in here. When I click in, I'm going to click on the left-hand number. That's generally the way that you're going to operate and move around in the system. This is a VAWA grant, so it may look different if you have a VOCA grant, and that's okay. Everything we're going to talk about is applicable across the board. I found my ledger in the file section. I downloaded it so I could edit my ledger. I have my ledger ready to go. I do the ledger first. You want to do the ledger first because how would you know what to put in the system if you don't have your ledger filled out with all of your correct information? So when I get ready to go do my payment request, I'm going to click on this tab right here, payment request. There's some other test payments in here, but if this is the first payment request of the season, there's not going to be any other boxes in here. But it is helpful to show that when I scroll around on these boxes, they light up. And if you actually click on the box, that's how we're going to enter into the payment request. You can go back and see past payment requests. Since this is a brand new grant year, you're going to, again, have 0 payment requests until you start doing them or pretending today. I'm going to click new payment request because I'm ready to do my new one. I'm going to select year 1. I'm going to select the payment quarter 1. If I was doing monthly, I would select the correct month, and I'm going to hit create payment request. You can see that this brand new one, these guys are all paid. This new one says new. And when I click into him, he's going to open up into the payment request. I'm going to make sure that I upload my correct ledger that matches my dollar amounts that I want to bill. So we're going to pretend that I've uploaded my ledger, but I also still have my ledger handy because I'm going to want to make sure I type in the exact amounts from this expenditure summary into the system so that my ledger and my system payment requests match exactly. If they don't match, then your grant analyst has to send it back to you. All right, so I've opened up my payment request. I'm going to click these little boxes. You can see that they open up some details at the bottom of the page. When I click on the pencil down here, it opens up another box. I'm going to make sure my funding source is correct. I'm only billing federal on this grant, but make sure you follow your ledger. If you have match, make sure you follow your ledger and you enter in the correct match source for your dollar amounts. So for personnel, I'm going to double check that amount. For my expenditure summary, it's $97,4016. I'm going to put that number in and hit save. And that's all I need to do for personnel, except for make sure that amount is in here under federal. If I have in kind or cash, those amounts will populate right here. Right now, we're ignoring the remaining columns those columns they're not correct. We need our system developer to do some work there. They can be confusing, especially at the end of the year. People do ask. Please just ignore these remainings and use your ledger. Use your most current paid payment ledger. Okay, so I've made sure that that amount is correct, that it matches my ledger. I'm going to go to Fringe. I opened him up. I'm going to click the green pencil. I want federal. And the override amount, I've forgotten, so I need to double check. He's 3,000. I shouldn't have forgot that probably. That's okay. I'm going to put that in there and hit save. We're going to watch that populate right here. And it's building a total down here. The indirect amount does populate in the system, but we're going to double check indirect when we get done. Okay. Let's see, what else did I bill? Training, that's right. We went on some pretend training that was very helpful. I'm going to click training. My little detail tab populated at the bottom. Ooh, he wants me to select, so make sure that you don't leave this blank. If you leave this blank, let's see what it does. I'm going to hit save. Okay. Oh, he went in. That was lucky. All right. Well, that's good to know. But if I click back in there, oh, okay, he automatically defaulted to federal. That's kind of nice. But just in case, I'm going to just make sure that I make him federal because I really want him to be federal and I really want him to pull through. So I'm not sure why my training dollars are men right now, but right now they're hims. So, okay. So those dollars are all there. I'm going to make sure that my totals are correct in my indirect and in my overall. I'm going to pull my ledger back up. 1324.01. Oh, 1324.02. I'm glad this happened because this is an issue for many agencies and sometimes it doesn't quite it doesn't quite happen. It's a rounding issue within the system, and you can see that it makes everything a penny off. And your grant analyst, if you email them, they're going to tell you to make the ledger match the system. As far as a penny goes, it's okay. If you have any questions or qualms, you're feeling funky about that, make sure you're talking to your grant analyst. If you're my sub-grantee, if I'm your grant analyst, I'm just going to tell you to change your ledger. So we're going to change our ledger 1324.01 to 1324.02. And then honestly, if you want to change the number down, you can always change the number down as well. But we all know a penny, how much a penny means. So anyway, so now my ledger matches the system. 1324.02, 14,564.18, 1324.02, 14,564.18. Again, if I felt more comfortable changing it down to say 1324 even, you could do that as well for sure. And then just adjust that amount in the system. So now that my amounts match and all of these amounts match, they're all the correct sources. I've got my ledger attached that matches my payment request. I'm going to hit submit for approval. And I'm going to get a little green box. Yay. All right. That is how to submit a federal payment request in the system.